Ubisoft touts subscription services as the future of gaming, says players need to start feeling comfortable not owning their games. Well, it's official. 2024 started running. Greetings once again, my friends, and welcome back to the GNRO Minicast, the first for 2024. I hope everybody had an awesome holiday or holidays, and we're able to do some fun stuff. For me, I apologize for not being around for so long, but as people might know on the channel, I was busy working my butt off. And for those who understood that, thank you so much for your patience. I appreciate that. If you're brand spanking new, yeah, the holidays were kind of busy, and it actually kind of leaked into January. So I am finally back, and we're back with the GNRO Minicast discussing a particular story that came up. So I guess Ubisoft decided to start this year running basically by opening their mouth and inserting their foot. And of course, we are bringing this story to you from boundingintocomics.com with the author being Spencer McCooley. And let's go ahead and dive right into this, shall we? In offering his support to the dystopian concept of you will own nothing and be happy, Ubisoft Director of Subscriptions that tells you everything you need to know about this guy. This is what his job is. Philippe Tremblay has opined that not only is the subscription-based service model an overall boon to the gaming industry, sorry, not boom, it's not a boom, trust me, but that the main factor standing in its widespread adoption by developers is the fact that players still prefer having and owning their games. Yeah, it's almost like it's expensive media, and we would much prefer to own it so that it can stand on our game shelf, as opposed to not owning it and making our money worthless, is what you're basically saying, Philippe. And I know why you're putting out this argument, because you're the what was your title again? I know that you're the director of subscriptions, and the sad reality is that he's not the only person within Ubisoft that thinks that, because he has a job right now. You put out the dumbest argument that you possibly could have put out, but let's go ahead and continue on. Tremblay shared his anti-consumer take on the medium's future following the announcement that Ubisoft's own in-house subscription services would be rebranded under a collective banner of Ubisoft Plus Premium. Who actually, I would love to be able to have this discussion. Who buys into the Ubisoft Plus? Because I have no problem telling you, I don't. Maybe if Ubisoft cared more about the games that they're putting out, I might give a damn. But unfortunately, it looks like they want to go out of business, so good on them. As explained by the developer in a January 15th blog post, Ubisoft Plus Multi-Access and PC Access will now become Ubisoft Plus Premium. In other words, we don't want to pay Steam anymore. Offering day one new releases and early access where applicable, alongside premium editions, monthly rewards, and more. Ubisoft is also introducing a new offer, Ubisoft Classics on PC, a curated selection of popular back catalog, and live games. Oh, I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. I'm guaranteeing you there's a but there. Elaborating on the difference between these subscription tiers, Tremblay explained in the same post, premium means day one access to new releases, and in some cases, like Prince of Persia Lost Crown, early access to upcoming new releases. This is on top of our extended back catalog, where you'll have access to premium editions, DLC, and monthly rewards. All of this is offered on Xbox, PC, and Amazon Luna, and you'll only need to subscribe once to have access to these games across these platforms. Players can subscribe to Ubisoft Plus Premium for a monthly fee of $17.99, which no one will pay, as this has not gone well in the overall gaming media. In fact, I was actually very shocked to see IGN themselves, who are usually the people going, hey, step down, let's actually look at this and try and be as unobjective as possible, when in reality, we know that they're getting paid by Ubisoft to say positive things. So even they came out and said, it's probably even more important now to own your physical media, or at least they made the argument of that. Alternatively, players can subscribe to Ubisoft Plus Classics, a curated selection of our most popular back catalog games, like Far Cry 6, Rainbow Six Siege, and Watch Dogs Legion. He added, this catalog will grow with time. Why isn't it bigger? Is included for PlayStation Plus Extra and PlayStation Plus Premium members, and is now available on PC through the Ubisoft Store for $7.99 a month. Yeah, no. Later pressed as to the decisions which led to this business shift during an interview with GameIndustry.biz's Christopher Dring, the Ubisoft director detailed, "We looked at the consumer behavior and how people were interacting with our offer, and we saw an opportunity for us to evolve. When we look at how gamers engage with our different games, we see that our back catalog is still very active and alive. So we saw an opportunity to offer those worlds to our consumers for a lower fee, and this is a response to the behavior that we saw from players." In other words, they didn't like the fact that the back catalog was played and not their new shit, and now they want to make you pay for it. Because fuck you, and fuck you for playing their older games. How dare you? You should be playing their current stuff. When we look at how gamers engage with our different games, we see that our back catalog is still very active and alive. So we saw an opportunity to offer these worlds to our consumers. To this end, Tremblay then told Dring that the move was also motivated by the fact that Ubisoft's streaming services have supposedly been proving to be a way for gamers to access our worlds who perhaps weren't inclined to purchase. These players are brand new. We're shaking hands for the first time. It's been Ubisoft's strategy for as long as I've been here to try and reach more players with the franchises that we have. So I'm happy, as the leader of this product, to be able to deliver on that. I have a question, Philippe. Quick question. You say that they love your brands. There's still some people who will not play Assassin's Creed to this day because of the ending of 3. Do they not count in this in the market logistics, whatever you want to put it? Because they're not playing your Ubisoft games. Nothing? Okay. All right. How about the fact that you offered a remake of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time and then went completely radio silent on the project, and now we're getting another Prince of Persia game. And the first thing that happens is people start asking, where's the other game? Silence on the matter. Yeah, you love your audience, let me tell you. Oh yeah, and that Skull and Bones game that nobody was really interested in, but now you have to pump out this year because you put way too much time into it. Yeah. From there, making note of the very noted Resistance video game players in particular have shown to signing away their consumer rights to a variety of digital storefronts, Dring then asked Tremblay as to how Ubisoft sought to sell their subscription services to this hesitant demographic. Do you want to know why we're hesitant? Because you are basically treating us like the fucking enemy. Let's be real for a second, Ubisoft. I haven't played Assassin's Creed, but I can already tell you from what people have told me that have played the current games, they're just not that as interesting as what came before. They really aren't, and there are way too many pay-to-win mechanics in some of them. I especially loved walking around the frozen food section of my Walmart and seeing nothing but Assassin's Creed Odyssey codes on frozen food so that I could then actually be able to earn experience and actually be able to level up a character. Yeah. On top of that, I've already heard about some of the things that you've done with Rainbow Six Siege and how you made that virtually pay to win. Oh yeah, and also, oh crap, what was that franchise called? I want to say it was The District or whatever, and you made that kind of pay to win, and you're already accommodating to China more than you are to the US audience. Yeah, I don't believe for a second that consumers are on your mind when you are making these decisions. I don't have a crystal ball, but when you look at the different subscription services that are out there, we've had a rapid expansion over the last couple of years. No, you haven't. But it's still relatively small compared to the other models. We're seeing expansion on console as the likes of PlayStation and Xbox bring new people in. And from what I understand, they're basically using the metrics of things like PlayStation Plus and Xbox, I don't even know, Game Pass, I guess would now be what it's called. They're basically using the metrics there of people who are playing Ubisoft games in that to justify this, which, from what I understand, those metrics just basically track that, yeah, they own this game. They might be putting hours into it, whatever. On PC from on PC, from an Ubisoft standpoint, it's already been great, but we are looking to reach out more on PC, so we see opportunity there. In other words, you don't like that the PC market is the way it is, and you want to start capitalizing on it, kind of like a certain other company that tried to try it. Then turning to highlight what we saw as the primary roadblock to players signing up to streaming services in droves. One of the things we saw is that gamers are used to, a little bit like DVD, having and owning their games. It's almost like we've been doing that for years. And you don't like that, do you? Especially when all you got out of that was the $60, and then you put out your next Watch Dogs and people are still off playing your first one? How dare you? That's the consumer shift that needs to happen. They got comfortable not owning their CD collection or DVD collection. That's a transformation that's been a bit slower to happen in games as gamers grow comfortable in that aspect. I don't even know where he's going in that regard because we didn't get used to not owning things. I have no idea where Tremblay's going with that. Maybe he's going to the streaming model for like Netflix. Maybe he's going to iTunes or whatever. I think he's pulling that out of his ass. As gamers grow comfortable in that aspect, you don't lose your progress. If you resume your game at another time, your progress file is still there. That's not been deleted. You don't lose what you've built in the game or your engagement with the game, so it's about feeling comfortable with not owning your game, which will never, ever make me feel comfortable, especially in an era where if you say, do, or imply the wrong thing, that these companies can therefore say, you don't get access to that. Because some of these contracts are so fucking broad, you can actually get away with not allowing them access because of things like wrong speak. And for all the people who love things like disciplining wrong speak, just wait until the shoe's on the other foot. Because once you put somebody in charge that can actually dictate that, and then you get somebody who replaces them on the other side, the first person to complain is gonna be you. I still have 2 boxes of DVDs. I definitely understand the gamer's perspective with that. No, you really don't. But as people embrace that model, they will see that these games will exist, the service will continue, and you'll be able to access them when you feel like. That's reassuring. Yeah, what if they can't? I already just gave you an example of being able to basically have these things ripped away from you. And that's right now allowed in a lot of the EULAs, and it's kind of disgusting that it is. What happens if digital media is not accessible anymore, say in a rural market? All of a sudden, all of the money that some person has paid out to a place like Amazon is virtually worthless because they don't have access to anything. That's why they go with physical fucking copies. Dumbass. Streaming is also a thing that works really well with subscription. He concluded on his thoughts on the topic. So when you pay, you pay when you need it, as opposed to paying all the time. In other words, you don't like where the prices are right now, and so you want to try and ink out as much money. You want to try and bleed consumers dry in order to keep yourselves alive, instead of, I don't know, coming up with new and interesting IPs, not running your existing IPs into the ground, and more importantly, stop embracing all this woke identitarian bullshit. I can guarantee you, if you stop embracing that stuff and you actually start putting out good games, people won't hate you so much. Funniest thing how that works. Yeah, so this has been taking the internet by storm in the month of January, ever since this guy decided to open his noise hole. And I'm kind of surprised, considering that it is a few days at least since I've been able to see the story break, and I still haven't seen this guy either A, step out of the media light, because I think he's still doing interviews, but also that he hasn't been quietly fired. Because I can already tell you that Ubisoft had a downturn after these statements, and I'm guaranteeing you Yves Guillemot was not happy about the way that he said it. I don't think anybody should be. His argument is shit as far as I'm concerned, especially right now where people are complaining that corporations have way too much power. And what is this guy asking for? More power. He wants to lord things over people, and he wants you to get comfortable with it. Yeah, bullshit. I can already tell you, as to myself, as a consumer, I actually was kind of interested in the Prince of Persia Lost Crown game that was going to be coming out this year, because for people who don't know, Prince of Persia started out as a cinematic platformer, which can also be kind of akin to Metroidvanias. And so at that point, they were putting out a Metroidvania. It felt like Prince of Persia was returning to its roots. And I was actually considering getting it. I immediately saw these statements and I went, I can wait a month. I can wait 2 months. I can wait this entire year and get a gift card and purchase it that way and not put my money towards it. At least not when he wants me to put my money towards it. As far as the Ubisoft subscription service, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Ubisoft, you have not put anything on there that I remotely want to play that I don't already have a physical copy of. So at that point, why would I do that? And what are you going to do if I don't want to do this? Are you going to force the subscription? Yeah, that worked really well when EA tried to do that with Origin, and they had to pull back on that too. In fact, I think they still have to pull back on it to this day. And people wonder why I really just don't trust AAA gaming anymore, and I instead go the indie direction. Because the indie developers actually give a shit about who is buying their product. They aren't immediately concerned by the fact of, oh, not enough black people are buying my product, or not enough of this demographic are buying my product. They're just like, oh, you bought my product. Cool. I'm very happy about that. Thank you. Because that's money in my pocket. Now, Spencer, I'm going to give credit to Spencer McCooley, although he did kind of repeat himself in this article. That was kind of weird. Might want to fix that, Spencer, but yeah, I'm glad for this article being out there. I would also recommend that people go and read the initial interview, because this guy, I couldn't even get through a lot of it. This guy's so full of his own damn self. I'm kind of surprised he isn't the living embodiment of the South Park joke of the dudes in San Francisco sniffing their own damn farts. So at that point, overall, I can already tell you, I don't have an Ubisoft subscription. I've been advertised it who knows how many times at this point, and I still haven't gotten one, and I have no intention of doing so. And I'm probably not going to be spending any money with Ubisoft in the next few months, because I don't want to encourage this behavior. Instead, I want to discourage it. Instead, why don't you put out games that we all want? Maybe stop messing around with some of the existing franchises that you have. Maybe for Prince of Persia fans, why don't you go ahead and give us an update on that Sands of Time remake? Is it done? I think it's done, personally. Maybe Lost Crown is basically their way of saying, I'm sorry, we couldn't do it. Or maybe, just show that you give a shit about your various other platforms. I mean, I've even heard people complain about Just Dance, and when that started coming out on crap, I can't even remember what it was called. The Xbox camera. People will know what I'm talking about, but when Just Dance came out on that and people loved it, and now they're actually saying the quality is suffering on Just Dance over the last few years. So yeah, this is not a good sign for Ubisoft, and I think they're going to be paying for it the rest of the year. So that's my take on it. Thank you so much to Spencer and Bounding Into Comics for the article. Tell us what you think in the comments below, and let me know where you stand on this. Do you think that everything should move over to a subscription model? Because most gamers that I talk to are absolutely against it. They are some of the people that actually think that Blizzard ought to pull their head out of their own ass and remove the subscription fee or significantly lower it. And I'm kind of leaning on that argument too. But that's going to go ahead and do it for me. So yeah, like I said, leave a like and a comment down below. I'd love to be able to have that discussion with you. And also, if you like this content and you want to check out some more, check out some of my other videos, leave a subscribe. It definitely helps us out. And we will catch you guys next time for the next GNRO Minicast. Take care.